Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to The Sun, David De Gea is wanted by PSG. Mauricio Pochettino is looking for a number one to replace Keylor Navas. Now David De Gea has 2 years left on his contract at Manchester United. De Gea is on £375,000 a week. That is a substantial amount. Now, recent narratives have said we could allow De Gea to depart the club in the summer, so Dean Henderson can be our first choice goalkeeper. De Gea is valued at £50 million. Solskjaer's already warned De Gea that his number one jersey is under threat. De Gea is not available at the moment. He's out due to personal reasons, so that means Dean Henderson will get a run of games. De Gea has been at Manchester United since 2011, so he's been at the club now a decade. He's made over 500 appearances for the club in all competitions. De Gea has won everything domestically at Manchester United. A few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. But in the last couple of years, he's made calamitous mistakes, and reflecting on that, he has become a liability. De Gea was really close to joining Real Madrid back in 2015, but due to a fax machine, his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise. Solskjaer did say a few weeks ago that he's prepared to sell either De Gea or Dean Henderson in the summer, because Solskjaer has been facing a goalkeeping dilemma. I think we should put Dean Henderson as our number one goalkeeper, because I think he's reliable enough now to become our number one. He's got that experience behind him, and he's done well in the games he's played in this season. Solskjaer admitted earlier on this season that it's becoming more and more difficult to leave Dean Henderson out of the side, reflecting on his good performances. A few weeks ago, Dean Henderson threatened to quit the club if he's not assured the number one role. We revealed our asking price. It was £40 million. Before the start of this season, Dean Henderson signed a 6-year contract with the club, so he committed his future with Man United. So anyway, Solskjaer's patience plea. Solskjaer says Man United need more time. Solskjaer's also said that some players need to step up. Now, like I've said in regards to Solskjaer, I don't think he's the long-term manager for Manchester United. I think at some point he will get sacked. And like I said on my recent video, I don't think he's the right manager to bring success back to Manchester United. I said Solskjaer has got to win a trophy to avoid the sack, because he's not won a trophy yet as Manchester United manager, and we haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards, and a club of our stature need to be winning trophies. The Europa League is a chance of a trophy, and the FA Cup is a chance of a trophy this season. We know we're not going to win the Premier League. I've totally disregarded that. So too have all Manchester United fans. I disregarded the title a while ago. At one point, though, we was in the title race. I don't see us winning the title under Solskjaer. We haven't won the title since 2013, so we haven't won it now for like 8 years. Top 4 is our aim now. And I can almost assure we will finish in the top 4, but top 4 is not guaranteed yet. There's quite a few teams in that top 4 race, and Solskjaer did say that the top 4 race will go down to the wire. You know, we've dropped 13 points in our last 8 league games. In our last 3 games, we've drawn 0-0. We can't sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at this present time anyway, because there's no one available at the moment. Don't forget, Mauricio Pochettino was the favourite to take over at Man United. He was in negotiations with the club. This is obviously when Solskjaer was under serious pressure, and Pochettino was the favourite to take over after Jose Mourinho got sacked, but Pochettino's out of the equation because he's PSG's manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. 3 managers have been sacked. That was David Moyes. We sacked him after 10 months. He enjoyed the shortest tenure at the club, and he's the worst manager we've ever had. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years despite him winning the FA Cup, and we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season. Also got second in his first season. Now, Woodward recently gave a statement, and the board back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because Woodward says the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. Our net debt risen up to 455.5 million. So reflecting on that anyway, I think a new contract is incoming for Solskjaer. He'll probably sign the new contract at the end of the season. The last time I read up regarding the contract, it said Solskjaer's future was in doubt because he admitted that nobody spoke to him over a new contract. But it said we will wait until the end of the season to begin contract talks with Solskjaer. He says we could offer him a new 2-year deal on one condition, that's if we qualify for the Champions League. Solskjaer is now into the final 18 months of his current contract. And this is Solskjaer's 2nd full season as Manchester United manager. But I've already said, haven't I, if we can win a trophy this season and we can finish in the top 4, the top 3, or finish 2nd, I think that would represent a good season for Man United. Then that would give us something to build on going on into next season. Reflecting how long Solskjaer's been at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience. But Solskjaer hasn't got that proven pedigree as a manager, so that's one of my big concerns about him. His decision making is also a big concern because in the vast majority of his games he's managed at Man United, he's been tactically naive, especially in the big games. But there's also been some games where he has showed tactical flexibility, but he's got to show tactical flexibility persistently. A lot of United fans, including me, said, we give Solskjaer the job too soon. Maybe we should have waited until the end of that season to decide or not whether to give him the job. But we give Solskjaer the job permanently, reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. You know, he won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions. I think the club's too big for Solskjaer, you know, despite him knowing the culture of the club. And we have endured very, very bad periods under him, where you can turn around and say he was lucky not to be sacked. Earlier on this season he was lucky not to be sacked because we was really poor at the first part of this season. was poor at the first part of last season. We enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. So Solskjaer's been criticised a lot. You know, we appointed him in December 2018 to replace Jose Mourinho. But we have enjoyed some very, very good periods under him, you know, where we've actually seen consistency. You know, there's been some games in them good periods where he's got the best out of the team and he's improved certain players. I just think Solskjaer needs backing in the summer transfer window by the board, because this year's summer transfer window is the biggest in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career. Solskjaer did say that he's only interested in bringing in players that would be a perfect fit for the club. And he recently sent a transfer warning to Man United fans, saying we won't be very active in the summer transfer window due to the coronavirus pandemic. You know, Solskjaer has enjoyed 4 transfer windows so far as permanent Man United manager. And like I said, he has made good signings, but you know, as yet, he hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in. So in that aspect, the blame stems from the board. The board have been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players, and none of the managers have been backed enough since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. But our board have got a soft stance on Solskjaer, with him being a club legend. Woodward has come out several times to support Solskjaer. Even when we was enjoying them really bad periods, he assured Solskjaer's job was safe, and he did say towards the end of last year he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. A new centre-back and a new forward are the 2 priorities. But we've got to credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in some aspects. You know, we are second in the Premier League. You know, at one point he got us top of the Premier League for the first time in like nearly 8 years. You know, we've got a fantastic away record in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. So we're unbeaten in 21 away from home in the league. You know, Solskjaer's got us to the FA Cup quarter-finals, got us to the Europa League last 16, you know, got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season, lost 2-0 to City. You know, Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season at the club, guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us 3rd place and got us qualification for the Champions League. Like I said, he's spent around 260 million since he come in. And he's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in. But like I say, there has been quite a few players on our agenda. Now obviously, you know the news on Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund. According to recent reports, Erling Haaland is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's #1 transfer priority. Solskjaer did say prior to the game against Real Sociedad that he keeps in touch with Erling Haaland and he follows Erling Haaland's progress. Back in December 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. There's been a lot of clubs in for him. You know, Chelsea are actually confident that they can get him. Apparently Chelsea are willing to offer him a financial package, but apparently Erling Haaland's not interested in going to Chelsea. City have been interested in him. Liverpool have been interested in him. Bayern Munich have also expressed an interest. You know, if Dortmund sell him in the summer, they'll demand in the excess of £100 million. We know next year he will be available for £68 million because that's when his release clause becomes active. His agent Mini Oriola said a few weeks ago that there's only 4 Premier League clubs that can afford him. Sure, there's more than that though. But since Haaland's arrival at Borussia Dortmund, he's been a revelation. He's under contract with Dortmund until 2024. Dortmund paid just £17 million for him. But it would be very, very good to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reunite with the player. He's the type of striker Man United need because he would guarantee us goals. Now, obviously, yesterday I give you the news on Rafinha from Leeds. It was stemming from the Brazilian outlet UOL saying that we've made an approach to sign Rafinha from Leeds. Liverpool have also expressed an interest. This is Rafinha's debut season with Leeds. He has scored 5 goals and provided 5 assists in 21 appearances. He's got a contract with Leeds until 2024 as Rafinha. He's come out as Rafinha and said that he is happy at Leeds. But his agent Deco is set to meet up with Leeds' sporting director to negotiate a possible move for Rafinha at the end of the season. Rafinha is predominantly a right winger. I think we're actually seeing him as an alternative to Jadon Sancho. Recent narratives have come out and said that Real Madrid are prepared to sell Rafael Varane to Man United in the summer. There's no signs of him signing a new contract. You know, the AS said the other week that talks over extending his deal have not settled. Rafael Varane, I think, is valued at around £61 million. Back in 2018, Woodward was prepared to sanction a £100 million move for Varane. There's been a few clubs interested in him. I'd certainly take Rafael Varane at Manchester United. I really would. Because he'd go very well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. And he's a world-class centre-half and he's highly experienced. He's 27 years of age. If Rafael Varane comes to the Premier League, I think he would exceed expectations. You know, he's been at Real Madrid now around 10 years, which is a decade. He's made over 300 appearances and he's won 18 major honours. And you obviously know the news on Jules Koundé from Sevilla. So I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer despite the pandemic. But Solskjaer must get the players he wants in. We're going to sell players in the summer transfer window. I think we could sell around 6 or 7 players in the summer transfer window. So obviously will generate money and that'll help us with our rebuilding process. You know, we could sell De Gea in the summer, like I've said. A lot of United fans have said we need to offload Victor Lindelof because he's not good enough to represent Man United. You know, Sergio Romero, we need to offload him. Phil Jones, we need to offload him. Matic, you know, we could sell him in the summer. Because he's not one of our first choice midfielders, but he still gets his chances. And I've always had my strong reservations about Matic because he's always been a slow player. Juan Mata, I think we will offload him because his current contract expires in the summer, but there is an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Solskjaer did say prior to the game against Real Sociedad that he's not surprised Juan Mata's linked to a move away from the club. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial, because Anthony Martial's not good enough to represent Man United. You know, Anthony Martial has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. But Solskjaer did actually say he's been impressed with Martial's work rate and he's backed him to rediscover his form. So there you go. We've got a big game today against Man City at the Etihad Stadium. It's the 185th Manchester derby. A lot of United fans, including me, are not expecting us to get anything from this game. Because obviously we've been in bad form recently and we've really struggled against the top 6 sides in the Premier League this season. In the vast majority of the games against the big sides, we have failed to score. And Solskjaer has beaten some big managers as Man United manager. You know, he beat Pep Guardiola 3 times last season. I think he's beaten 4 times in total since he came in. You know, he's beaten Thomas Tuchel twice when he was PSG manager, Ollie. You know, he's also beaten Jose Mourinho. He's also beaten Julian Nagelsmann. So it's going to be interesting to see how Solskjaer approaches this game today. You know, this is going to be the 3rd time we'll be playing Man City this season, because we've already played them twice this season. You know, we drew with them 0-0 at Old Trafford in the Premier League, and we lost to them 2-0 in the EFL Cup semi-final. But we did beat them 3 times out of the 4 times we played them last season. You know, Manchester City are the best team in England by far. You know, they've won 21 straight games in all competitions. Can we end our unbeaten run today? And City are the champions elect. You know, when they win the Premier League this season, that will be their 5th Premier League title. You know, the 14 points in front of us. City have won 4 Premier League titles at the moment. You know, 2 have come under Guardiola. They won 1 under Manuel Pellegrini and they won 1 under Roberto Mancini. When they won it under Roberto Mancini, that was their first title in 44 years. You know, Pep Guardiola has won quite a few trophies at Man City. Not only 2 Premier League, you know, also won the EFL Cup quite a few times. City have won the EFL Cup for the last 3 seasons in a row. And they're in this season's EFL Cup final. They do play Tottenham and I'm expecting Man City to win that. You know, he's also won the FA Cup and he's won the Charity Shield. City are into the Champions League quarter-finals. The Champions League is Man City's priority because Manchester City have obviously never won the Champions League. I think the furthest they've got in the competition is the semi-final. You know, Guardiola has been Man City manager now for quite a few years. City appointed him in 2016. By the way, earlier on this season, Guardiola signed a new 2-year contract with Man City. But he's regarded as one of the best managers in the world. Guardiola has spent over £1 billion in his managerial career, but the vast majority of that money has been put on that Man City team. But yeah, City are a great team, you know. They pass the ball well, they press well, they defend well, they can create chances, and their football, most of the time, is very expansive. Look at the players they've got, you know. They've got Gabriel Jesus, He's a very, very good player. You know, they've got Sergio Aguero, world-class striker. He was actually injured earlier on this season. I think they got Aguero from Atletico Madrid. They've also got Ferran Torres. They got Ferran Torres last year. They've also got Riyad Mahrez, who's very, very good. They got Mahrez from Leicester a few years ago. They've got Phil Foden. He's come up Manchester City's ranks very, very well. Done well this season, Phil Foden. I do rate him a lot. They've also got Raheem Sterling. You know, they got Raheem Sterling a few years ago from Liverpool. You know, they've got Kevin De Bruyne. You know, Kevin De Bruyne is regarded as one of the best midfielders in the league. They've got Bernardo Silva, who's very, very good. Ilkay Gundogan, he's been in scintillating form this season. They've got that Garcia. He's okay, Garcia. Rodri, now, he's one player at City I don't really rate. I don't think he's made the best of impacts, Rodri. City have also got some very, very good centre-halves. You know, they've got, you know, John Stones. He's surprised me this season, you know, of how well he's performed. Because I didn't rate John Stones for a long time. But reflecting now on how good he's done this season, I'm starting to rate him now. City, I think, got him from Everton. But John Stones and Ruben Diaz complement each other very well in City's back line. Yeah, they've got Ruben Diaz. They got Ruben Diaz last year. They've got Nathan Ake, but Nathan Ake's been out with injury. They got him last year. They've got Laporte as well. He's a good centre-half, but he's sustained a few injuries at Man City. They've got Cancelo. Kyle Walker's a good right-back. They've got Benjamin Mendy. I don't really have much of a perception on Benjamin Mendy because he is injury-prone. And Edison, their goalkeeper, has done very, very well this season. Don't forget last year Man City lost David Silva. They also lost Otamendi. He was part of the deal for Ruben Diaz. They lost Leroy Sané as well. He went to Bayern Munich, and a few years ago Vincent Kompany left them because he went to become player manager at Anderlecht. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to today's game. I actually heard that Edison Cavani is not part of the squad for some reason. I don't think Donny van der Beek is part of the squad either. But yeah, I've already given you my preview for the game, and I recently gave you my starting 11 prediction, and I did give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. You know, Solskjaer's even said that City are ahead by a fair distance. After City, we've got AC Milan in the Europa League last 16. That will be a tough game. And then it's West Ham, then it's Leicester, and then it is the international break. But yeah, like I say, Martial's recently been injured for us. We know Pogba's not going to be involved today. He's still out with a thigh injury. Paul Pogba is a big miss because we do lack quality in that midfield without him. The last game Paul Pogba played was the 3-3 draw with Everton. Pogba was out earlier on this season with an ankle injury, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. So, sustained a few injuries now at Man United as Pogba. Solskjaer recently set a new Paul Pogba return date. Solskjaer's hopeful that Paul Pogba will return before the March international break. Anyway, Pogba could be staying now at Manchester United because he said he's open to staying, and after making a transfer U-turn, and he's willing to discuss a new contract. Matt is obviously out injured. He wouldn't have played anyway today because he doesn't get in our team. You know, Phil Jones is still not available. He's another player that doesn't get in our 11 yet. Like I said, Donny van der Beek's recently been injured. So yeah. So anyway guys, we'll be on for match reaction later on. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.